the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
And thanks for joining us for DC News Now at 4. I'm Mark Hall.
Good afternoon. I'm Annalisa Gale. Well, Hurricane Milton is threatening Florida's Gulf Coast with dangerous storm surge and damaging winds.
And time is running out for Florida to prepare. The major hurricane expected to make landfall tomorrow, nearly 2 weeks after Hurricane Helene.
Also, President Joe Biden has signed a disaster declaration to help mobilize resources.
We have team coverage tonight. We're going to continue to track Milton. DC News Now's Randy Bass is live at Dulles Airport as people evacuate from Florida.
But first, we begin with meteorologist Damon Matson, who's tracking the timing and strength of this storm. Damon?
Yeah, guys, this is definitely still a scary situation. Not much has really changed overall as far as what is expected to happen as Hurricane Milton now makes its turn on towards the state of Florida, and the impacts it is expected to bring. All of them are still on the table. Life-threatening storm surge. We're talking torrential downpours and rainfall, and of course, the extremely damaging winds. Regardless of what strength this storm ends up being by the time it makes landfall tomorrow, the impacts are going to be devastating across the west central portion of Florida and pretty much across all of the state. And here's the satellite loop with Milton. Not a good sign. Look at this. The eye has popped back out once again. We have a clear view of that on the satellite loop. It was a little bit clouded over through the night and into this morning as it was recycling, gaining its strength back once again. It did drop in wind speed back down to a Cat 4 overnight, and it's just short of Cat 5 strength as of the 2 p.m. update. I would not be shocked if this is a Category 5 again coming at the 5 p.m. update. So still an extremely powerful, monstrous hurricane. I'll have the latest on the track and cone with that going into Florida coming up here in a minute or so. But here it is, back closer to home, folks. Again, the hurricane is going to impact Florida. It's not going to come anywhere close to the DMV. And overall, we are enjoying a very quiet stretch. We have clear skies. Those temperatures out there will be dropping again as it will be turning chilly as we head into the overnight hours. So we'll talk about our chilly temps that we have on the way as well as those updates on Hurricane Milton coming up in your full forecast in just a bit.
All right, Damon, thank you. And right now there is a mad dash to leave Florida right now. The Tampa Bay area is dealing with standstill traffic as thousands evacuate before the storm makes landfall.
And many airports have closed, Annalisa, leaving terminals empty. Some of the last flights from Florida landed at Dulles Airport earlier this morning.
And that's where we find DC News Now's Randy Bass joining us live. And Randy, as I could imagine, people are really just trying to get out.
Yes, passengers we talked to here landing at Dulles Airport this morning say they took off from Tampa Airport 15 minutes before it shut down for passenger service indefinitely as Hurricane Milton heads towards Florida's Gulf Coast at this hour. Some of those passengers we talked to are evacuating just days after Hurricane Helene tore through their neighborhoods.
It looks like a war zone. We live in a beautiful neighborhood on the water, and the pictures don't do it justice.
Jennifer Griffith arriving at Dulles Airport with her husband Tuesday, staying with family nearby as the storm inches closer to their home in St. Petersburg, Florida.
We're still in shock. It's so surreal.
Leaving behind what's left after their home and cars flooded when Helene hit just 12 days ago. Trying to pick up the pieces and preparing for Milton before heading up north this morning.
You get up, you have no time to think about it. You get up and you move forward. There is no normal.
Plus, jumping on a jet and evacuating coming at a steep cost for some travelers.
35,000 miles plus $569.
Wow.
Yeah, that's for a round trip. Yeah, that's considerably higher than it was even a day or two before. I'm sort of intimidated, and I am right in the heart of it. And that is where I'm thinking, you really don't want to be there.
For the Griffiths, they're not sure when they'll get to head back home, but hoping for more little wins once the storm passes.
Like when we got our power back, or you find something in the wreckage, are our big wins for the day. And that's what I kept saying to everyone. Our little wins, they're big wins to us.
Now, United Airlines added one additional flight from the Sarasota Airport, the Southwest Florida International Airport. That landed about a half hour ago. We are awaiting people from a Fort Myers flight coming in here to Dulles Airport. That's one of the very last flights coming in from that area of Florida's Gulf Coast to this area for the next couple of days. Tampa's airport is shut down at least the next several days, if not indefinitely, as Hurricane Milton makes its way toward the shore. Live at Dulles Airport, I'm Randy Bass, DC News Now.
Randy, thank you. Members of Virginia's Task Force 2 are traveling to Central Florida to help with Hurricane Milton. One team has already been in North Carolina helping with search efforts and cleanup from Hurricane Helene. And members of the Virginia National Guard are also headed to Florida. A relief crew from Montgomery County is getting ready to head there as well. Well, such a dire situation for Florida. Two terrible hurricanes just weeks apart.
Yeah, we'll continue to monitor Hurricane Milton throughout the evening. We'll also bring you updates as soon as the storm gets ready to make landfall on our website, dcnewsnow.com.
And developing now at 4, a child is in critical condition after being hit by a car outside of Parkdale High School. It happened around 2 and on Good Luck Road in Riverdale. It's unclear if the child hit was a student, and we're working to get more details on this breaking story.
Also developing this afternoon, D.C. police are on the scene of a deadly shooting in Northeast Washington. That shooting happened in the 900 block of 7th Street. The man who was shot and killed has not been identified, and so far no arrests have been announced. Also new at 4, an apartment building is being demolished nearly 2 years after it exploded. This is the Friendly Garden Apartments in Silver Spring. The building caught fire and partially collapsed in March of 2022, displacing roughly 100 people. Councilmember Evan Glass was first to share the news of the demolition on X. We're still working to get more details about that.
In the district, chaos this morning after a hazmat situation near the Kennedy Center. D.C. Fire and EMS crews were called to the building's River Pavilion garage after someone was exposed to pool chemicals. That person was taken to the hospital to be evaluated.
Meantime, the district and more than a dozen states are now suing TikTok. The new lawsuit claims the social media site is harming children's mental health by making the app addictive, despite knowing it could cause serious problems like depression, anxiety, and suicidal thoughts. Now, DC's Attorney General in the filing calling TikTok's algorithm dopamine-inducing and said TikTok is profiting off making the platform addictive to kids and teens.
An update on a shooting at a shopping center in Herndon, Virginia. Police have arrested the suspect. He's now facing 4 felony charges, including malicious wounding and abduction. Police say Muhammad Abdallah sped off in a car Sunday night after shooting someone at the World Gate Shopping Center. The victim survived and is in the hospital. Police have since learned a woman and a child were in the suspect's car at the time of the shooting, but were able to escape. Now, Abdallah is currently being held at the Fairfax County Detention Center. Well, in Maryland, the Frederick County Health Department is investigating 3 cases of groundhogs with rabies. The most recent case was on Thursday. Animal Control says a groundhog roaming the Willowcrest neighborhood tested positive after it got into a fight with a dog. Health officials say that this is the 3rd case in the same quarter mile in the last 3 months, and they advise people to avoid feeding and petting wild animals and call the health office if your pet comes in contact with one.
Well, how is cannabis being enforced in the district? That will be a topic of discussion at an upcoming meeting for people in Ward 6. Councilmember Charles Allen is holding that conversation over Zoom, along with other D.C. agencies, including the Alcoholic Beverage and Cannabis Administration. Now, D.C. Police and the Attorney General's office will also attend. The meeting is happening next Thursday, October 17th from 7 to 8:30 p.m. Registration is encouraged. And right now, we're working to learn more about a cyber attack targeting American Water. The utility company provides services to more than a dozen states, including Maryland and Virginia. American Water says they took precautions, including shutting down certain systems as soon as they became aware of the attack. The company does not believe any facilities or operations were impacted, but they're still investigating the scope of that attack.
Well, Amazon Prime Day has officially begun, and other retailers aren't sitting back to watch. They're advertising their savings.
Yeah, Laura Hutchinson is stretching your dollar now with what to look out for.
This morning, 48 hours of deals officially started for Amazon Prime members, a 2-day Prime Day event. As you think about early holiday shopping, experts say to expect deep discounts, especially on brands owned by Amazon.
Think Blink security cameras, Fire TV sticks, Kindle. So we'll be seeing discounts as high as 60% in some cases on those devices.
Some sales will last the full 2 days, while new deals will be dropping throughout the event. And it's not just Amazon. Walmart's Holiday Deals event starts today, too, and goes through Sunday. Target's Circle Week also underway through October 12th, with deals on luggage, bedding, and kitchen items. Competition is fierce among retailers, which is why experts remind you to go into the week with a plan.
Retailers know that consumers are feeling the pressure of inflation, and people are shopping earlier as a result because they want more time to compare prices.